I think it's an unfortunate accident. I feel bad for Colby and his dad. The Wii strap.
What's
That's
that?
a good one. It even says it when they sell it to you.
I was going to do this, and then it like flipped out of my hand.
My home is not childproof. I don't have 6-year-old children. I have young adults and teenagers.
The TV made it like a little crack.
You can watch it.
Just like
No, not some of the. I'm not going to catch power button or set them up on.
I think in this generation, the state is their responsibility down their throat. And I can't think of a better person to do that than just Judy.
but Emmy, you have.
Glasses.direct.co.uk sponsors thrilling spectacles on
Put a
CBS
string
Drive.
on it on the cake when you
I'm
are
pretty good at lying, Tom. I certainly don't think this is the time for it. How long has it been since your last confession? On the confessional box.
amazing and live.
Hello, good evening.
And this is
I don't know why I just remember this.
hello.
In his hands. I feel better already. Very good at your job.
Like
Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining. Hopefully more people will join. I'm sorry, as usual, I don't. Presently, I'm presently a bit restricted on announcing when I want to come to live due to so many factors. That's why I most times just come online when I know I am ready to do another live video. Okay, the reason for this my live video, the topic is red flags that screams wrong. I've had many people come to me asking, telling me things that's going on in their relationship. Obviously, they are not comfortable. Obviously, they are scared of the future in that relationship. But, even though their gut instinct, everything is telling them run, flee, they are still slowing down, thinking maybe they are being weird. Well, actually, they are not being weird. It's just their guts telling them this thing is a danger zone for you. But because of the way the society has framed our mindset, and we feel maybe she needs to do more, and then also probably the guy is already gaslighting her. So obviously, it's even gaslighting anyway. So, and when gaslighting is involved, you begin to doubt your sanity. So, one of the things I want to share right now is to let you understand that some things are not okay in a relationship. I know in a relationship, normally you would have to make some compromises here and there, but any compromise that is going to affect your peace of mind, that is going to affect your self-esteem, that is going to affect your conviction, is not ideal for you. Because if you think you can let it go at that point in time, you will come back to it in the next future and be wondering, you'll be asking and thinking, what happened? What did I miss? Where did I go wrong? In the real sense, you didn't do anything wrong, but the only thing you did wrong was to not listen to your instincts, was to not listen to your heart. That's the mistake you made. When your mind tells you something isn't right, don't excuse it. Don't wait to find out what it is. Just go. Last week or 2 weeks ago, a lady came to me and was telling me of a relationship that was just barely 4 months old, and then the guy was already stylishly demanding some things she's not comfortable with. Personally, she believes in sex only in marriage, which I believe as well. And then obviously you will definitely have to discuss sex at some point in your relationship, but the guy knows she is not, the lady does not, he knows her belief about sex only in marriage. But just as abusive people usually do, they are very cunning. They don't come in at a go. They sneak in. They bite you bit by bit in a very unnoticeable way. Now, what this guy was now doing is, I don't feel connected to you emotionally. Then another thing he said was, how more like what is the extent she can go with a guy sexually. And this lady has never had sex before. In fact, he is the first guy she's ever dating, hoping to get married to him. And then she believes in anything sex should wait till after wedding. And here's the guy trying to ask her what length she can go. By the time she was telling me some other things, I was like, do you want to come and be sharing a worse version of my kind of story? If you want to, then continue. But if you don't want to, you have to cut it. There are some times that you don't tell people what to do on most occasions. But when you sense danger, sometimes, and if the person happens to be close to you, like she is, I just have to tell her that, please, for the sake of your own life, you have to go and cut that relationship. This guy I see, he was already manipulating her. Actually, he was already guilt tripping her, already making her feel less and making himself feel special, that she should be happy that she is dating her. He even went to the point of saying, I had to tell my parents about you before I even came to meet you, trying to make himself look too special than he is. All those signs of narcissists, liking to be seen as a special entity, wanting to be good, when actually in the real sense they are nowhere near that. This and many other things she explained, and all I could tell her was, you have to run. You have to excuse this guy. I was not like, I don't know how deep their relationship is. If it's not so deep, she can just tell him, I'm sorry, I'm no more interested. Okay, I think I remember the reply I gave her. I think the relationship was a little bit, it's only 4 months, but I think from start it was with a mind to get married to each other. So now I told her that if it has become something emotional and everybody has seen it, she may not be able to cut off from that relationship just like that, as it may turn it may turn out messy, and the guy may start causing dramas here and there. I said the way she could go about it was to just, because due to the comments he made, he's not connected to her emotionally. The girl was already withdrawing, so she was like, she was withdrawing, but she wasn't sure. She was thinking maybe she's taking a wrong step by wanting to by withdrawing. So I told her that, thank God you are already silently withdrawing. Now call him and tell him you need a break. It is in your heart, it is not a break, it is a forever kind of break. But you have to tell him it's a break to see how much drama or stunt he may want to pull. Now, if you have not started the relationship at all, there's something about narcissists. They don't actually hide their character, even when they are trying to woo you. They try to hide it, but somehow, because it is in their nature, it's their character, it's part of them, it can't hide. It is in fact, maximum of 2 weeks, you will have a sign of who they are, the kind of person that they are. So those as in those first 2 months are the time for you to know if this person is someone you want to say yes to. Narcissists usually, when they want a relationship with you, 90% of their talks is usually about sex. They don't have any meaningful thing to say. They don't have any good ideas. Even if they do, they will never share it with you, because they want to make you feel useless, helpless towards them. The thing is, they would go ahead and share it with any other person except you, and they will easily flow with the other person, even without the person asking, but they won't tell you. They want you to be running after them, and that thing also actually feeds their ego. They want to be running after them and be trying to beg them to get the information you should not be asking from them. So you really have to be very careful. There are some things that are not normal. I understand the society has made it to look like a woman has to endure in marriage. You have to tolerate, you have to submit. That submission, in fact, to be kind, the right word our tradition should have been using is slave. You have to be a slave to him. Because submission in the Bible does not mean the woman shouldn't have a breathing space. It doesn't mean the woman shouldn't have a life. But our tradition has twisted it to make it look like the woman was made solely for the man to please and satisfy him for the rest of her life. We are meant to both be happy and enjoy the marriage. We are both to feel satisfied in the marriage. One person shouldn't be feeling on top of the world while the other is feeling like she is a rag in the house. That's not how it should be. But unfortunately, the society has made it to be like that. So what I'm going to point out is there's things that you should really run away from. I mean, that when you see, you should run away from them. When they begin to tell you things like that you on a normal day don't permit anybody to do to you, when they begin to stylishly chip it in, one of the ways they do is to, in the name of joke, they will insult you. They will say, I'm just joking with you. And the painful part is they will do it outside. Like in my own case, he will tell me you're just stupid. And then when I frown at it, he will say, I'm just playing with you now. Why are you taking it serious?
No, I want to poo.
Go upstairs.
Okay.
It will like, why are you taking it serious? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we are outside. Even inside it is wrong, but we are outside. You are now telling me I'm stupid. And then I got angry and you're telling me you are playing with it. How can you be playing with such kind of words? Someone that should mean the word to you, you are telling the person she's stupid, and you don't think you are chipping off her self-esteem. And that's the power of words. Words will be chipping off, it will be cutting your life off you unknowingly to you. So you really have to be very careful that once you are citing any of this example, don't wait for explanation. Please just go. So you don't come back and be telling the story that was not meant for you to tell. Once they start disrespecting you, invading your privacy, they want to be the first person you talk to every day, if possible throughout the week. Like no breathing space. Anywhere you're going, you have to tell them. They want you to, when you're online, they are monitoring you, they are wondering, who are you chatting with? Asking who you are chatting with. Or they start adding all your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, following them. It is suspicious. These are the ways you can easily know all these people. They suddenly build a very good relationship with all your friends. They are very lovely. They are very loving to them. While I know that some people may not necessarily be like that, may not be narcissists, but are very friendly. But most of the time, narcissists, they usually build a relationship with anybody that you are surrounded with. They gain their trust. They make those people love them. They make those people draw their attention to them and create this kind of charm that you just easily fall for it. They make everybody around you to feel so relaxed with them, so that by the time they start dealing with you and you go and tell those people this is what this person is doing, they will first of all doubt you because he has created a different image of himself to them. So you have to be very careful. Be very careful of how you ask of your passwords. Don't be so fast to give your password out to your to whoever you're dating. Especially in this internet age, be careful you give, even if until you are married, let it be that you decide to, not that he is demanding to know because he feels it's your husband. Don't throw your right away, and don't because it is the Bible says you should submit. Forget you are human. You've got feelings, you've got emotions, and they are there for a reason. Don't let anybody invalidate your feeling. Once you're not feeling satisfied about something, voice it out. And usually another thing these people do, especially if you now go and fall for the so-called Christian ones, what they do is they use the Bible to manipulate you. They are very fast to quoting wives, submit unto your wives, even when they are not yet married. They are the ones that will already tell you this is what God told me we will do. And I'm going to do this, and that my wife must do it. My wife will do it. And meanwhile, in your heart, you are not seeing yourself doing it, but he has so manipulated it that you find yourself agreeing to it. They use the Bible they twist the Bible upside down. In my own case, he's got a Bible passage for everything he's doing. To him, everything he's doing is right. For me running away right now, I know it is my fault, not his own fault. It's because I don't want to tolerate. I don't want to be patient. This around June last year when I tried to run and I couldn't go again because he discovered. By the time we started talking, few days after, I decided not to go again. I knew that this guy is not changing. He told me I should be tolerate. I should have tolerance. I should be patient. That I'm not being patient. That God is working on him. The God that has been working on him since 2012 with no improvement. That God must be dead. That is how good and how manipulative they are. So you really have to be very careful. And more like don't ignore your instincts. That's the bottom line. Once your instinct is telling you this something is off with this person, don't give them a second chance. Don't give them a second thought. If they call you or do whatever, block their number off your phone. That's one of the mistakes I made. He started coming to me in 2008. I didn't fancy him. I just didn't want to hear his voice. I don't know why, but I hated him. Not like I hate him per se, but I just don't fancy. I can't even imagine myself getting married to him then. Then after into 2008, towards the end of 2008, I told him to stop calling me. I remember even screaming at him on his birthday to never ever call me again. The mistake I made was when he now came back in 2010. Instead of me to remain on that ground, I shifted. Probably my body was already telling me this person is a danger person, is a danger zone for you, but I ignored my instincts because of other influences I had. So, to be candid, when it comes to marriage, as much as people would counsel you, I'll tell them to allow you make your decision by yourself. Tell them you appreciate their advice, but let your decision be made with you being convinced, not somebody trying to convince you to see a good thing that you are not seeing. If you are not seeing it, then you will not see it later. I'm hoping that this little hint and explanation I gave would help you a little bit to understand that these people are everywhere. They are everywhere and they seem to just be so much right now. Unfortunately, all thanks to our parents, I think they didn't really do well raising the boy child, and secondly, and to the moms that decide to stay in an abusive marriage. That is the result we are seeing now. All of them seem to be a narcissist. They seem to feed on people's pain and their tears. You have to be very careful. If you are not married yet and you are seeing all these signs, by all means, cut that relationship. And if you are married, excuse me, in my sincerity, I'm going to advise you to escape, like run. You don't know what you are throwing away right now by staying there. You are throwing more than too much. You are losing too much. And if you don't go in time, by the time you are deciding to go, there will be nothing to, it will become a kind of hopeless state. And unknown to you, you are already transferring that same thing into your children. And then they too will go on with the circle. I don't think you want your children to be like whoever is maltreating you right now. For the sake of those children, I will advise you to run. Thank you very much for joining this evening. I appreciate you all. For those that will watch the replay, I hope you get encouraged and you got some little hints to help you to get better and to avoid all these negative people out there. It does not apply to only marriage alone. Some friends are narcs, and the way they deal with their friend, they derive joy. It's in any form of relationship, really. So be careful and take care of yourself like you would take care of a child that is going through pain. Be that child and be the person that will still help that child. Take care of yourself and make sure you put your emotions and your mental health as priority in everything. Once anything is disturbing those two things, please excuse that thing out of your life. I pray God helps every one of us. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Hopefully I'll come live again very soon. Good night.